prior to learning Gemara with this system, I was able to go through a block Gemara in about 45 minutes or an hour and get a good shot in the Gemara. With this system, I find that now I understand the Gemara much better. I have much more of a concrete understanding. I can put my finger on exactly what's going on in the Gemara. I've been teaching with this system for the last 6 years. I have a number of Talmidim who are sold on the system. They themselves will not learn without it. The shiur I give is therefore a very clear shiur, and my Talmidim find it very, very beneficial.
During the original limud, it allows you to see where everything is, and in the Chazara especially, it allows you to be able to chazar the material much, much faster. So you don't have to figure out what the structure of the Gemara is ahead of time. You can just see it all laid out in front of you. And for anybody who's a beginner, it allows them to see it without, for people who don't realize what a structure of Gemara should look like, they can just see what the Gemara is doing at every stage, which is, for people who know Gemara, that's of utmost importance.
Clarity in reading and in comprehension. It gives an encouragement and enthusiasm for Chazara. Makes review a lot easier. Affords me the ability of seeing the page spatially. Anyone who would like clarity of thought and in a very efficient way, they can spend much less time in the studying. The page is presented in a clear fashion, so it gives them more time for learning in depth, and it gives them more time for Chazara, and it makes the learning a lot more enjoyable because there's more clarity of thought. And anything which becomes a more enjoyable experience becomes a lot more encouraging for the person to spend more time with the Gemara if he understands it. So people want to spend more time with it and find its depth. It's a way that encourages people to see all of Shas as we ought to. It's been very encouraging to Talmidim, which in turn has been very encouraging to me.
Well, I feel I benefited very much from the marking system. It was the marking system that opened really the door to Talmud for me. When I started learning, it was very, very difficult. And it was basically a closed book, and as much as I tried for a few years to learn Gemara, I was very, very frustrated. It was a very difficult time. But by going to the Burger Shiur and being exposed to the structure of the Gemara, it opened up the Gemara for me. Very fortunate that I am able now to give over this method of learning Talmud to new students that when they come into yeshiva they have no exposure. And Baruch Hashem, just a week ago, one of my students came back to me and told me that the reason that he's sitting and learning in yeshiva now, because when he had started a year and a half ago or so, he had a very difficult time learning Gemara. He was really about to give it up. And he thought if he would give up Gemara, he probably would have given up yeshiva life altogether. You can't learn Gemara, you really don't want to stay in yeshiva. I exposed him to the marking system, and he was able to see a sugya, and he just grew from one sugya after the next, and now Baruch Hashem, he's sitting and learning, and he just needed that initial push. He's made it user-friendly. Anyone now can really open up a Gemara and be able to learn the Gemara in a very short time.
I use this system in all of my learning, even when I'm teaching Chumash to 5-year-olds. I mark up the page that when I'm giving it over, I'm able to look at the page and at a glance I can see exactly what the main points on the page are. This is very important with young kids. The person has to be on stage all the time and has to know the plot. And with regard to the kids, it's very good. They get what they need to learn. When it comes to teaching Mishnah, I have a set of Mishnayos that Baruch Hashem I was able to mark up as well. It's a slightly different marking to the system, but it works. It helps me to give Shir Mishnayos. Busy learning on a daily basis, a daf a day. I prepare the Gemara and I give it over. And obviously having the markings helps me significantly. And there's a time I look at a previous daf that I've learned, maybe 5 years ago, and I'm able to learn it relatively quickly. 16, 17-year-old kids in the Cheder, they're picking up the system on their own. They see that I've used it and they want to use it as well. And they ask me, what is this used for and how do I use it to its best efficiency?